Welcome back to the Chill Sounds and Breakdowns podcast. Today we have some very special guests, someone I'm really excited for, group of guys. But I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. So go ahead, guys. Who are you guys?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So, hey, what's up, guys? I'm Jake Bowen with Blaize Culture. Man, we have a clothing store and a skate shop and a BMX shop over on Ray Street in the River East area. We also have a company called Rain Supply Co. that creates pretty much all the Blaize Culture clothing and all that jazz. We throw all kinds of rad events. We have a whole crew from the skate and BMX side, which some of them are sitting around here now. One being CJ, which is sitting next to me. He's a BMX team manager. And we have Brayden in front of me, who's skate manager, and he is also pro skater, so he holds it down there. And then we have Mason sitting next to him, who's pro BMXer, and he shreds heavily, man.
Yes.
And
Had to confirm it. Yes,
yeah,
yes, I
man.
do.
So we do all kinds of stuff with pretty much keeping the scene alive and just pretty much creating a home for, all these people like us, man, that just can't stop shredding and can't stop.
That's really dope. That's actually how I first heard about you guys was during one of the events that you guys did. So you guys participated in I always say this wrong. It's Rolick or Rollick.
Ray Street Rollick.
That's the first time I saw you guys. And I was like, oh, okay, what is that? It's like, oh, it's just like a couple like art vendors. And then like I roll up to it and it's in the middle of the street, like Ray Street. I just see like your guys' like mini ramp set up and like their quarter pipes and there's just a ton of people out there just like skating on, skateboards, BMX, like everybody just like having a good time. And I just stood there. I'm just like, this is awesome. This is fucking awesome. Like they're just out there just like shredding it up and just bringing out kind of like the community thing. How long have you guys been like throwing events like that or participating in events like that?
Oh man. So Blaize Culture's been live for about 3 years, and I'd say we've been participating in events for all that time. But as terms of like the Racetrick Rollicks, that's probably been about a year now since we started our our actual storefront there. Oh, that's our first storefront. So outside of that, we were just doing events at like skate parks and kind of people's houses or trail events and like in the woods for BMX and all that kind of jazz. But
cool.
Yeah, this is our first kind of the whole street closure and things like that is with Ray Street and the River East community, which has been really cool.
That's really awesome. Yeah, that's really awesome that you guys have got to like be part of like events like that. But so before you guys had this, you said the storefront you've only had for about a year.
Yeah.
So before then, was it like more like just like online?
Yeah, it was all just online.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Thing?
Absolutely, man.
Dope. That's really cool to see kind of that progression. It must feel like really like awesome to like you who's like starting this and like seeing what it's become to. And, like,
absolutely, man. Yeah, I would say it's been really cool to see that, but it's been also cool to see like the progression of like the the crew and what they're getting into. They're getting in all kinds of stuff. They're getting recognized by all kinds of brands, which is really cool. I'm really stoked on that.
Yeah.
And it's just it's like I said, it's more of like a platform, man. And that's just we're just trying to create like just like a platform and also a home for like the scene and just make sure that the stoke is there. And that we keep, creating these.
Fan those flames.
Yeah. Exactly, man. And these guys heavily do that. Like the ramps, most of them were built, like in my driveway. And then
really?
A couple of them were donated from people's driveways. And yeah, it was just, man. We have more ramps being, donated and or more ramps in the plan of being built. We have some really cool plans in the works, but yeah, man, we're just trying to make sure we like be able to bring ramps to, whatever event or thing we have going on. And
that's cool. You kind of like making that, I guess, aspect of like, like skating and like BMX, being able to give them access to like that type of event, like close to them if they can't make it to skate parks or be part of that. I think community is what you guys are kind of like building with that.
Absolutely,
like
man.
Being able to bring people who, go to their normal skate park like all the time, like, and then come to one of these events and meet like other skaters, other like BMXers who are like, and just create that community, which in Intel just makes the whole thing grow.
No,
which
for
must
sure.
be like awesome for you to be able to use the platform that you guys have built to
Absolutely.
like catapult the now like pro people that you guys kind of like
Yeah,
sponsor and
absolutely.
help out.
And that's these guys here, man, as well as like CJ, man. Man, all the events and things like that. This is the first kind of dude I talk to about everything,
Yeah.
man. I mean, yeah, dude. I mean, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I know
Everything
earlier
from
we were out
out of
measuring.
state. Yeah, out measuring the ramps.
He's
Yeah,
like, I know
dude,
you
this
exactly.
is a
You're
cat,
wrong.
man. Absolutely. But I'm enough talking with me, man. You should totally reach out, like pick these guys' brains. They're heavily in the scene from the skate and BMX side, and they're all doing all kinds of stuff,
Yeah,
man.
no, absolutely.
I'm
no.
really just like I'm just a voice and like the hands in the store, you know, just from printing the clothes to, you know, making sure things moving and, you know, we have inventory on things that are selling. It's just, you know, that's it, man. We have
He's
like
the mastermind.
yeah, I'm
The
just
mastermind. I feel like
I'm just a businessman, man.
I know this right
These
now.
guys just shred, dude. Like all three of these guys shred, man. I mean, they're beyond me. So, yeah, dude. I'm just here enjoying it. You know,
Well, that's cool. Yeah, because actually, like I said, that was one of the things I was like learning about you guys is that you actually have like pro like skateboarders and like BMXers. So like what is that like? How did that transition go as far as from you guys like I guess like casually doing and just like constantly doing to now like doing it like as a pro? Like how does that feel like?
Different.
A
lot more like serious in a way. I guess you gotta like actually take the time to progress, do new stuff, and like get in the streets more because without it, you're not gonna like continue to grow. I mean, there's people. Me personally, I would rather see Mason here tail whip something in the streets versus I'm sorry, but doing it at a park. Doing it in the streets is just that much better, and that's where it comes down to being a pro. Is you have to make this shit happen in the streets when it's not meant to happen.
Oh, okay. So stuff that's not like traditionally done, like like some sort of trick that
I
like
also
really isn't
want to
normal
see
to do.
Mason do a tail whip.
I also back that up. A tail whip in the streets.
That would be like a unicorn.
That would be
awesome.
So it kind of works more as like a driving force to like
Mason's
push like your guys selves, like push yourselves to do like new stuff and not be like I guess stagnant and just like kind of like okay like everyone's doing this like how do I like stand out of the crowd kind of thing. So it's more of a motivation.
It's definitely more satisfying doing like skating something or BMXing right however you say it in the streets.
Actually, how do you say it? Now I gotta know.
He's a park rider, man.
Well,
I ride the opposite.
Do you say?
He's like,
I'm hearing this. I'm like,
He's like, I would also like to know is Vince BMXing or not?
Well, yeah, but like, do you guys just
just
group
riding
up and like, do y'all want to go BMX?
Just ride.
Where really comfort is, yeah. Where your comfort is, I feel like.
But street, I've always like as far as like skateboarding and stuff, like street stuff has always been like more appealing to me, just because it's like because you just do it everywhere, like anywhere you're at, you literally can like make that your like skate park, and you gotta find your way around like these obstacles that aren't like your traditional obstacles. They're just things that you run into. It's like, oh, what if I can do this off like this jagged set of steps? Like that's not like in order.
That's not skatable or rideable. Skatable.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I definitely feel that, and I feel like that makes it, I guess, that much more interesting. Like level. Yeah. It just has you like up the scale and up the level on like the type of like tricks and just stuff that you're doing. And it must feel like that much more satisfying to do something like, oh, probably maybe a handful of people have actually even had this idea to do something like this because. And with street, it's just wherever you're at. You know what I mean? Who had this exact thought of doing this in this exact spot that I'm in?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Make whatever you see, find some way to do it. Make something out of nothing.
Pretty much. Okay, that kind of puts that a little bit into perspective. And you were saying, so you don't do BMX, you do park riding. What is? So I'm.
Well, I do BMX but park riding.
But park riding. Okay. Okay.
I don't ride in the street very often.
Okay.
I do ride the street, but. The stuff that I like, which is bowls and dirt, and things in the park, like a half pipe and traditional things. Exactly. I like to be in the air, which is the opposite of street, because it tends to be low flat ledges. Like, don't get me wrong, there's some burly ledges, burly rails, gnarly shit. But for me, I like banks, ditches. You got to travel where we are to get to cooler street things. So for me, I like park. That gives me that adrenaline that I'm looking for.
That alone, like those, like what you were saying, just being in the air, like that's gotta be like
Exactly.
a feeling that
Yeah,
like none other.
It's so
you know what I
wild. I've always loved being on like trampolines and everything.
mean? Oh,
So
okay.
like doing flips and doing that means of things. So do it on the bike. That was like my biggest goal, was like to try to get some flips, try to figure out better air maneuvers. That way I could figure out how to be in the air safely. But
Yeah,
usually-
safely.
yeah.
It's like the key point.
Yeah, usually the scariest thing is having to, like, a lot of times going faster and getting more airtime usually makes it safer
Mhm.
because you have more time to basically bail or fall or do anything you need to do to adjust.
if you're going faster, getting more air.
It's
Oh,
just-
you have more
it's just
time. Then
scarier because it's faster. It's scarier because you're going higher, but it gives you more time to be safer while you're doing it. So it kind of goes both ways.
so it kind of
Pros
helps
and
to
cons,
basically
yeah.
go big or go home. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and they kind of like operate in the same way as like how you were saying. There's different nuances to like every street spot. You know, like if there's a crack or something's, you know, haggard or jagged,
Yeah.
like different different transitions like feel different too. So it's like that same ability to adapt like in your surroundings to like whatever, you know, you like to ride or skate or whatever,
Yeah.
are still the same, you know, even though you might be in like vastly different terrains. It's still pretty cool because that carryover is kind of constant through.
Yeah, I feel like that adapted. I mean, like I said, speaking for someone that is not skated in a very long time. Actually, that's where I got this. That
Broke the
thing,
wrist.
and then this there.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
and this was speaking of this, we're going totally off topic, but like that. Speaking of like you guys making your ramps, yeah. My best friend's dad made it in like his backyard. Like he made a half pipe, and that shit immediately like cracked, and like I just like slipped, caught. Put my hand out and just boom, this basically
Did you sue him?
part of it was here. No.
Okay, I was gonna
wasn't-
say, like, you may be the reason why parents don't let.
Yeah, no. I was just like, this is my fault. You know what I mean? It was literally the day before my birthday, and my mom's like, just ride it tomorrow. You don't have to do this because it was like we finished it very late. Like it was like, I mean, I was like 14, so it was like 11 or something. She's like, you need to go. I was like, I need to do it today. Like I need to send it, and I was just like, go boom, and then like. I like passed out for a little bit and I wake up, my best friend's like running and he's like, hey, Ozzy's dying to my mom. Because I live next door, so I can hear him yelling at my mom. And I'm like, I'm fine. Like I wake up and then like I just look at my arm and I'm like, what? And it looks like a bird's wing because this part is just going up. Yeah. No bone stuck out, but that whole part of the arm is just going the other way. So it literally looks like a bird's wing going.
Damn, bro.
It never happened to me.
Yeah, and I mean, I didn't actually stop skating there. I kept
Fingers
skating for
crossed
like,
on that
yeah,
one.
still a while longer, like while in the cast. And it's like, I mean, it can't break again. Like it's already in the cast. But no, that's one time. But I
Maybe
feel
I'll
like
look at it the other way.
that adaptability has got to be there, you know. And whatever, you know, even if you're skating like parks where like, you know, the bowl's not any different, but every time you go up there, depending, like you were saying, like depending on how fast you're going, like how much like air are you actually going to get.
Yeah,
like,
you
still
can
have to
always change
it's
it
always
up.
variable. There's not like a. It's not like a video game where you like, oh, okay, I just have to rotate it this much and we're gonna land it. It's like, okay, no, the speed will vary every time. So every single time, it's got to be like you have to adapt to whatever, you know. Whenever you took off for the jump, like, okay, how did this go? Did it go exactly like last time? Do you have to over rotate? I'm assuming, or something like that. But I feel like you'll have to have an adaptability to wherever you're like, you know, skating or, you know, riding.
There's no rules, man.
It's exactly.
Exactly. Really, you could just write anything.
Yeah, some of this, and I'm just so fascinated with like just seeing those, and I'm like, I don't need to do it to know like how hard this stuff is, and like stuff like I've been looking like all the stuff that like you guys have been sharing like on the Blaize Culture like Instagram and stuff, and like every one of them was like, that's so dope. Like everything is so freaking cool that they're doing, but it's got to take like tons of practice. I can't imagine. How long have you guys like all been like skating and like riding?
15 years.
15 years.
A long time.
Old man, I would say about 6,
6?
7 years.
Okay, dang.
Like off and on since I was a kid. Really.
Yeah.
How old are you?
Mountain man's old.
32.
They're like,
Oh.
they're finding out some information, man.
It's like, whoa, 32, that's old,
32,
says the guy
yeah.
that's 30 here. But no, that's, I mean, it's a skill that you gotta have a passion for it. You gotta want to do it, because who out there is gonna like want to just like get hurt, like, or run the risk of like getting hurt and just getting back up and doing it again because I know like I've just seen like clips and like stuff of people who are just like have one trick in mind that I was like, I gotta get done, and we'll do like infinite tries until like, and then won't get it, and then come back like, you know, a month or two later, whenever, over and over until like that satisfaction, that like little tick is like ticked off, and be like, okay, I did it. But until then, it's like, I guess it's got to eat at you, like landing certain tricks or.
Well, that's the joy in it. Like that's what brings the reason to do it. That those new tricks and that enjoyment when you finally get that first time and then get it consistent.
Yeah.
Like that's the reason you do it, or the reason I would say we do it. No, I would say generally is to get that new trick and that new trick enthusiasm and that feeling, that new. I don't know how to explain it, but that excitement.
That excitement of like getting it, like something done. I'm assuming it's like kind of the same thing for you.
Yeah, you just battle. That for me, I guess it's more of I like a battle because people get out of skating because they'll fall and they'll slam, or even biking. But the thing is they don't realize that's not how a fall is every time. You got to know how to fall. You can fall the same way, but the next time you know how to get out of it, so you're not going to get hurt.
That's a weird phrase that I have heard, and like I didn't get it until like it made sense. But you got to learn how to fall. Like you got to know how to fall, and like out of every fall you learn, okay, I know what to do next time. Like how to fall. Like it's so weird.
For me, I like high impact, so like stairs, handrails. Whenever you jump down, if you're gonna kick away, you kick away, land on your feet, slide back. Most people just jump down, land on their feet, and just fall to the floor.
Just fall straight, so the full force is just going like straight down.
Going straight down. And
I feel like skaters would be good at parkour too. Like,
I don't think
He's like, I've never tried jumping a building.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna try that, but
I don't know
you
if
learned
I'm gonna
something.
try that.
like the
might only a building
like
today.
masters of the tuck and roll and
Is,
stuff.
is Blaize Culture looking for some parkour?
Parkour,
Like,
man, shit, man. What's the next building jump?
I've been seeing a lot
Are,
of like
you good at running from the
pogoing.
cops? Hit us
extreme
up.
pogoing.
Yeah, I'm like, it's so weird. Yeah, they're like doing tricks on pogo sticks.
I didn't know
at
that
skate
was a
parks.
thing, but like people have like professional like pogo sticks and like and they like get so high on those things. The most of the ones I've seen is like not them landing anything. I always like all the fails pop up on my thing. I'm like, oh my god, it looks intense. But that's crazy. That's like they just like any. I think you can find that sort of feeling in like anything that you can do. It's like pogoing is like extreme pogoing is like an example of it.
Yeah,
but I feel like people can find that kind of thrill and all that. But you're right. Yeah, I think people quit that kind of stuff when it's like it gets too hard and you start falling. You're like not getting success, and but that's kind of what separates the people who do it professionally or do it for a longer period of time and get to that next level.
There's almost that hump where like there's almost like a hump where you may just kind of almost lose interest or where it becomes difficult because you're going for difficult tricks. But a lot of times if you prosper and just keep on trying, and if you push through that hump, a lot of times it shoots you into where you want to be.
Right, when you get it, that's kind of a good like
like sometimes you'll just black out in the middle of your trick and end up rolling away.
What?
Yeah, it's weird.
Hold on, like you'll do the trick and just like
so like that brings me back to earlier. Like it's a part of the battle. Like if you go and say you're starting this podcast, right? If you just blew up right then and there, you're going to be like, oh, that's cool. But then if you take however long, continue to push and keep doing it, as soon as that blows up, that's going to feel so much better.
Yeah, if you work for it, I mean, that's why those tries where you guys are trying like over.
We take at like 30 slams just to roll away for 2 seconds.
Wow. That's cool, but you're right. Like when it takes work to do something, that just feels a lot better just because you're like, I earned it. This one time that I landed and rolled away, like I worked my ass off for it. Like I got, the freaking scars to show that I like the sweat, because how long you guys are out there and trying. But that's got to add to just the satisfaction of the feel and like that you did that, you know what I mean? Like you put in the work and you earned that roll away.
Yeah. And when it comes to people being scared to fall, and not know how to fall, I get that because I don't know how these dudes get off of bikes. Like that is scary.
If I fall 30 times, I'm gonna be upset.
Got some hot takes on this one. You don't like falling.
It's a lot harder to.
It's a different type of riding though too. Like with the tech things that you do with skateboarding and then tech biking, you tend to fall more, but it's less risk. With the ramp riding and the dirt and stuff, when you fall, it hurts. Like you're coming down from say 6 feet, 10 feet in the air. and having to roll or come out of a quarter. Don't get me wrong, you can and you will learn how to fall, and you can learn how to fall smooth.
Yeah.
But it does hurt. So a lot of times, personally, if I fall more than like 5-10 times in a session, unless I'm just pushing for something,
Yeah.
I'm usually getting worked. Like, my body's
and also I guess that's something like it's good to pay attention to. You know what I mean? Like what
genres of riding kind of goes different with the falling, because a lot of times with different technical skating or some ways of rolling out and things, you really roll or slide out of it. And you don't get much impact in terms, but like sometimes with biking, you can get kicked somewhere because of the tires being absorbent to the coping or something, or being kicked weird.
You're right.
You could just have no means of question. You're gonna land flat, or you're gonna land on the ground and just have to take it.
Oh
So,
my God.
At least you won't be taken out by a random rock.
that is the biggest.
The
thing.
random, oh my God, the
Yeah.
rocks
The
are
rocks
gotta
are
be like
dangerous.
no public
alright,
enemy number one. For
So
skateboarding.
what is worse, like getting caught up in a bike going down, or totally bodied from the pedal?
Do y'all know Suicide Hill?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Dude, my brother bonded on a penny board, and I went down after him, and then I started catching speed wobbles, but I caught it, and as soon as I caught it, dude, I hit the tiniest rock and just flew like 10 feet and then slid. There's
It's
this
like
old
you,
dude
it's
watching.
like you saved
dude.
one thing, like you got took out by another.
Yeah, yeah.
Skateboarding for you, man.
There was this old dude just watching on the side of the road. After I got him, he was like, "My son used to do that back in the day."
He used to bust ass just like that.
I'm still
Same
doing
pebbles.
it, man. That's great.
Man, yeah, but those pebbles, it's just like, because once you hit one and you fly off, you have that whole airtime to be like, I can't do anything about this. Like, it's just gonna happen. I'm just gonna, and depending like how big that hill is, like you're just still gonna slide on it, like sliding, like get scraped up. So it's just that feeling of inevitability once you hit the rock. And it's like, okay, like there's nothing else I can do, kind of thing. Unless like you're not going as fast and you can catch yourself. If it's a big hill, like there's no way. You're just like in the air, like, okay, this happened,
Yeah,
and then
that's
like
why I
you
don't
just
do
fly.
that anymore. I don't bomb hills anymore.
The only
Yeah.
comparable thing is like front tire washing out on a bike. That when that happens, dude,
How does that
it
even
happens quick.
happen?
Imagine like concrete being slick with rubber.
Oh.
Sometimes with some tires, you come onto a corner or quarter or
Oh, and it
anything.
just slides
It'll
out.
you'll just come.
Oh, the wheel will just like kind of
Yeah,
slide.
you just, like you just get crossed
Kinda
up
like
out
a
of nowhere.
tailfish kinda thing.
Oh no!
You'll get bodied.
Just and that's it. That's like
Slippy spot.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Impale
Either
yourself.
that or
on
you
the
Yeah,
slide
like
down,
or
just
like
fall
a patch of sand at the trails or something like
That's
that.
what-
Yeah.
I just said, would that just like catch up your tire and kind of just like
It-
not track? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Shaking
it's
just kinda sinking it and
it-
go over.
Yeah, you sink and
It'll just get, like,
you-
kinda just
you
spin
get-
out on it and just get caught
yeah,
up.
and it's
Or
like
wash
if your
out.
front wheel hits it,
Ah.
you'll get crossed up like real quick.
Damn, none of that sounds fun. Well, since we're on this, I guess, topic of falling, like, what would be like some of like your like worst fall that you've taken?
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I gotta think about one.
I tore my ACL
Ow.
trying. I don't remember what high school it was, but I was tray flipping. I don't know if you know what that is.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It's a 360 kick flip, and I was doing it on an 8 stair, and I remember telling myself, I was like, I'm either landing at this try or I'm getting hurt. and I caught it, and as soon as I came down, my back foot was barely off the board, and it slipped off, and my right leg just kept going on the board and just tweaked out like really bad at
so
a
it
right
just-
angle.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you just kind of like slipped out and just I guess the right foot just kept going and like,
Yeah.
oh,
Like
that-
I took about a week off. I knew something was messed up, but at that time I thought it was more my LCL,
Mhm.
and that'll just heal over time by itself.
Yeah.
So I took like a week and a half off, and then I went back to skating again. And I don't remember what I did, but I did something, and my leg hyperextended, and it just like took me out. And I was
Oh.
like, yeah, that's way more than an
That's
LCL.
something else.
But my laces.
That's
That's what happens when you.
Back of his pants, man.
There's just like one, just
I was
like a
just-
crossover
Yeah.
strap on
Oh,
one.
that's
I
what-
caught my eye. I was like, wait, what?
The
Yeah.
laces.
So I have the grip tape will rip
He's
them.
torn up
Gotcha.
everywhere.
That makes sense.
Everywhere.
Right, and then
So how long did that take to heal from?
um
'Cause that requires like surgery,
He's
doesn't
coming
it?
back right after.
Right?
He's on.
yeah, I went back to work 5 days after surgery,
Oh,
and I
shit.
work in a warehouse. And then I think I stayed off of it skating for about 2 months,
Okay.
and that's not at all how it's supposed to be.
Okay, I was gonna say like I think I've had a friend tear one and he was off
I
of it for a
probably
long
shouldn't have
time.
started skating back until like 3 or 4 months ago. And I've been skating back for like over a year now since I got hurt. Yeah, like well over a year now.
Luckily, nothing's happened since then.
Yeah.
It's been
It's weird though. I'm a lot better than I was before I tore it, because I think that really gave me a perspective on. See, and here it comes back to my like other thing of commitment with skateboarding, with people quitting just because they fall one time and get hurt really bad.
yeah.
It's if you're trying something, the more you commit, the less you're gonna get hurt.
That hesitation, I think,
Yes.
gets a lot of people like.
And don't hesitate. That's actually gonna be my video part name coming out because of
Really?
that reason. I hesitated when I did it because I just kicked it out and tried to catch it and hope for the best.
Yeah.
And Jamie Ford, he skates for Deathwish. He's like pro. He's like X Games pro. But he said the quickest way you're gonna get hurt is after you pop your board if you second guess yourself and hesitate. The best way to land your trick is full commitment 100% of the way.
That makes sense because like any second decision after you've
Yes.
especially made your initial pop will completely change like the outcome of what you were already doing.
Yeah.
So even if you're gonna commit to it and like not land it, it's still like the way you initially planned it. But if you
you're
try to
gonna
switch
do
up
a trick,
plans,
you need to be 100% ready to do it. Not just, oh, I think I can do this. Let's see what happens. Because I don't Tristan, he thinks he can. I mean, he can. He just needs to commit to it. He wants to tray flip the 6-stair at Chisholm Trail Skate Park, but anytime he does it, he just pops it and kicks it away, and then he rolls his ankle. If you need, well, he's good. He can do it.
we're calling him out right now.
He can do it. He just. He doesn't. I feel like there's a lot more potential in him than he sees in himself when it comes to doing. Because he's great. Like he's way better than I am when it comes to flat ground tricks.
Yeah.
There's some stuff that he does that just I can't wrap my head around. It's ridiculous. But that's the story for another time. But it's just commitment is key. If you don't commit 100% of the way, you're gonna get hurt.
I feel like that makes perfect sense because that's like any time I've seen somebody like get super hurt and like they like talk about it after, it's always like, oh, like I kind of hesitated. Yeah, like hesitation will kill like any sort of like, you know, like send that you were doing or like just full commitment on it and would just completely change the outcome and would more than likely lead you to get hurt. As far as like in my experience and just like people that I've talked to and things like that, it's just they all kind of are on the same page about that. It's like no hesitation if you're trying to actually like land something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, what's your biggest?
what's
spill? It's like I'm ready now.
I thought about it.
You got plenty of time, man. Think about that.
All right. I got two of them that are pretty similar.
Okay.
They weren't very substantial, but they were pretty good blows to the head.
Oof.
There was one I was at the dirt jumps over in Arlington doing just trying to work on getting high, you know, getting more airtime. Came down straight nosedive, just into the front tire,
no!
right on the top side of the landing. I didn't land into it all the way.
Yeah.
So I was about 2 inches away from actually clearing it,
Fuck.
and just my bike stopped. So when my bike stopped, I went straight to my face all the way down the landing. So that
my god!
that roughed up my face pretty good for about a month.
My
It
goodness!
didn't do anything structurally. It was no actual damage,
Yeah.
but it really wrung my head and it really messed up my face.
That's just like a shock factor to it. Like if you're
Exactly.
just falling down, like I mean, even like you said, you didn't like get
I
any.
watched myself,
But it's just like
not clear it, and my bike stopped, and I saw myself just like going down the.
So
the
you
dirt
just
jump.
like kind of just scrape your face, just scraped down like the
Exactly.
landing.
I basically just slid down the ramp from a complete stop.
Face
Like,
first.
Ever send you into like a complete mental block?
No.
Oh, dude, that's the worst thing.
That is rough because like even my next one was gonna be the same idea. I had a helmet on for this one. I've been pushing more towards wearing a helmet constantly, but in the past I was kind of leaning back and forth with throwing it on here and there, not riding it. So yeah, so now straight helmets all the time for myself personally.
Put that helmet on. man.
I can't take any more damage to the head. I just helmet all the time. So, but I was over at Allen Skate Park trying to do this manual line into the down ledge that they have down there, and it's a pretty hefty down ledge. I would say 12 stair, but it's a tall ledge. It's a tall, probably about 3 foot, 3.5 foot ledge going all the way down. And I missed the pop of the manual going into the ledge. Didn't get the feeble. So instead of getting the feeble, I dropped my peg and ended up locking my bike onto the ledge and just dolphin diving to the bottom to my face with a helmet.
Oh no!
So that like just straight like I just planted dolphin dive at the bottom. Yeah.
Oh my god!
From the top, yeah, from the top
hit
dolphin
that.
dive to the
I
bottom.
grinded down
Oh
straight
my
to my
god!
face.
Straight on
And
your
that,
face.
I didn't drive home. I had to have my buddy Landon Gideon drive me home, and then he ended up having to get his car dropped off back to his pal. So it was
Yeah.
a whole situation just because I got worked that hard with my head. I just like ended up blacking out for a second. Like I had to take a second and like basically barely walk to the car to get driven home.
Holy crap! That sounds gnarly as hell.
Oh, and they're
From
gnarly.
the top. His bail got posted on Thrasher.
Really?
Yeah.
I was
he
like,
was
dude,
wearing a
I'm
Blaize
glad I
shirt.
made it.
Ooh.
I'm glad I made it.
Man.
Yeah.
So apart from being knocked out, which is never fun,
It's never fun.
so I've got a Stitches story. I had an axle bolt blow a hole like on
Your
the,
leg?
yeah, like in this like right under my knee, like right at the top of my calf. I was trying to tuck no hander, and so I left foot forward. So when I went to tuck the bars, I actually punched my leg off of that pedal.
Yeah.
And like got me all squirrely, and I landed on top of the bike, and that leg was like,
See what I mean? You can't bail.
Yeah,
can't-
that leg like landed on that axle bolt, so 14 millimeter piece of
Oh my
All
god.
I
Steel.
gotta do is kick away.
yeah.
Yeah, kicking a bike away is a lot more difficult than that. That's
Yeah.
because you got to worry about that. Like, not only falling, but like you have this giant like freaking bike.
After that, I switched up the kind of hardware that I run, so I don't run male axles
Those big-
anymore. Yeah.
Basically, with biking, is you almost want to plan your bail as you're going, or almost have like with falling, you experience falling so much that you know what to do. That within those random situations that you throw yourself off and you may get hurt pretty bad, a lot of times you'll be able to plan or see what's happening where you're able to fall to your butt. Or same thing with skating. It's just more of a matter of, since it's just a different medium, almost like art. Like it's a different medium, so you know what to or how to fall the right way. Just sometimes it gets random. So sometimes you can't
there's
hold
still
back.
that intuition where it's like, oh, I need to kick the board away.
Yeah.
Like you still have that intuition. It's just like
This is how I
it's
feel
a
the
bunch
best
of,
way.
a bunch of tubes to get
to
caught
explain.
up in.
That's true. There's a little bit more to get caught up in, but you're right. I think like you guys just have you have your own adaptability, but there's also those ones that you can't plan for, and they just like happen because it wasn't like any of the bails that you were planning on like happening or any possibilities, and you're like, okay, like I guess this is happening. Like
Worst case scenario. I mean, sometimes it is the worst case scenario that happens, and you just got to take it.
I think the best way
Go down with the
to
ship.
explain to somebody that doesn't BMX, because I understand it, bailing on a bike is mid-air jujitsu.
mid-air jujitsu. You gotta wrestle with the bike and
Yeah.
be like, holy shit, how did I get this away from me?
That's not for me.
Yeah.
I'm not that guy, pal.
I'm not that guy, pal.
Oh yeah, you got your own bike. This is mine. I'm Team Blue.
Team
I'm
Blue.
Team Blue.
Yeah, we're me and Mason.
Worst
are
crash.
Team Blue.
Team
We're doing
Blue.
worst
That's
crash.
that's awesome though. I mean, you guys have some gnarly stories, but you guys are still at it. You know what I mean? Like it's like again, like that's just
Constantly.
that like stubbornness comes from like a place of passion. It was like, like you feel like you guys need to do this. You know what I mean? Like it's part of you. I think it's just based on like the way you guys talk about it. It's kind of like how you live something. You know, like the same thing with people like. With with like musicians and everybody, like people I've been talking to, it's the same thing. You know what I mean? Like you have to do this. Like no matter how many times you are writing this song or playing this, you're gonna keep doing it until like it comes out the way you want it to. Those tries, that perseverance is what makes people great. You know what I mean? And like that's what you guys kind of like are embodying because you're out there doing it, and the way you talk about it, you kind of like get that vibe off of you guys. That you guys
like
do it.
how you said with how the way you want it to be done. That's another huge thing in the skate and BMX scene is your own style. It's not judged. I mean, look, he's dressed short shorts, baseball tee, pants. I'm in Dickies and.
I was gonna say y'all are wearing the same shirt.
Well, yeah, I'm wearing the same thing, but I mean, you got people
Happens a
like Nigel
lot.
Houston who wear like the shorts for more but flexibility. I mean, there's
Can be dangerous.
yeah, it can be dangerous.
bet, yeah.
I don't skate in shorts because it seems like every time I do, I get hit in the shins and it hurts way worse for some reason.
The pants help protect a little.
But yeah, I mean, and like all different crews coming together, skate, BMX and scootering.
Mhm.
It all just comes together. There's really no like judgment in the scene.
And I think that's what, coming back to like Blaize Culture, I feel like just in what I've heard and just like when I see you guys do the events, I feel like that's what you guys are like working and creating. Like that's kind of like feels like a mission statement. Like I was reading like your guys' website and it's like more than the brand, that's what it kind of feels like, that community feel, like bringing those people, like bringing everybody from like different styles, different things, and not kind of eliminating that type of like hate and rivalry, the negative kind, not the one that makes you better, but because like I feel like there's healthy rivalry where like, hey, I want to, it's gonna make you just become better and stuff.
No, for sure.
We're doing this.
Yeah,
But I
was
feel
gonna
like
say-
that's what you guys create, and it's got to help like many people, like the new skaters and stuff like that, not scaring off. You want to inspire like the new generation of who's gonna take up the mantle after you guys are done with it.
At the end of the day, that's the biggest goal, really.
Yeah.
It's just getting the younger generation comfortable coming up to the events and hanging out with us pros to say, but really it's just us being able to have that light to push down to them to bring them up more.
Yeah,
Exactly
It's
that.
just- We're not necessarily pros, but we're just at the top of the level in this area, just enough to where we can push the younger generation.
Dude, this
They
dude
look
does.
up to us.
This
So
does.
it's
This
nice.
dude does more crazier
It's
stuff
really
than
cool. So
pros
it's
I know.
nice. It's nice to see the kids get excited whenever they're around us or other people on our team, and knowing that that's just something that they're excited to do every month that we take over the street or
Yeah.
whatever. It's something that they look up to or look forward to every month. So it's kind of something really cool.
Or even just seeing us do like our tricks or whatever and being like, I can do that one day. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what got us all doing it, is we saw somebody else or saw it somewhere, whether it's Tony Hawk Pro Skater or just like old and back in the day BMX X Games and shit. I want to do that. I think I could do that one day. I want to be able to do that. And that's where like it starts.
It's all just inspiration.
Inspiration, yeah.
which is cool because you guys provide like an accessible way to get there instead, like with I'm just gonna say with like growing up when I was like trying to shoot the shit and skate, that's all I would only see it like on like TV and like video games and stuff like that, so that was my accessibility. But the fact that you guys get to provide it to like these kids and the younger people like here in person, where somewhere where they can go to and see like people doing like cool tricks that like they haven't learned and they were like, oh, you know what, I can do that, like they eventually, and get into like just hang out with you guys and talk about it, it's got to be like inspiring enough for them, and it's got to feel good to like know that you guys get more and more people to come out, and like maybe people who wouldn't necessarily go out and skate, because also like if you don't have anybody to skate with, like I know is a big thing, because that was a thing with like we skated, like having people to skate with, so that's got to be something cool that you guys do.
No, absolutely.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
And we're honestly like really happy to have you guys participate in Chill Sounds and Breakdowns. We like could not be more excited that you guys are coming out.
No, dude, I think it's an amazing concept, man. We live for the whole DIY scene and just making it happen yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all we do, man. The grind never stops outside of like work life and the shredded life, I guess you would say. But I what I would like to say is that I think we all have the same like thrill, like we're looking for the same. I mean, this is what keeps us here, type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't, like it's kind of how you saw in the the Olympics and things like that. Like, no one's really competing. It's more like we're hella stoked. We're all here together, like doing this big milestone.
Mhm.
Like that's what I would say. That's what the coolest thing is that there's really not the big, like it could be the biggest competition, but the vibes are like so good and unmatched. Everyone's just trying to push other people to do their best.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, our team is basically just doing the small bit of work we can for the community, just to bring the community together. That's really our biggest goal, is just doing that little bit of work to provide that ability for the people to show up and gather.
Yeah.
And be able to see what we do for our free time, and maybe push the younger kids that show up, or push the kids that are below us, or maybe the kids above us or the people above us show up and even just get us more excited. So
Yeah.
it goes all the way around. It's just anybody can show up and will show up.
Kind of just goes full circle, and that's kind of like this exactly what you just said is one of the reasons why even more now getting to know you guys, why I feel like you guys are definitely a perfect fit for like what Chill Sounds and Breakdowns about, because like Daniel, who's like organizing all of it, that's like his main goal. It's like, how do
Daniel.
I bring, shout out to Daniel, like a million shouts out to Daniel, like he's his biggest inspiration for this is how do we bring, you know, this community around here full of like, you know, musicians, artists, people of all sorts of art types, because I consider like what you guys do a form of art, you know what I mean? Like, so that's all. It's like, how do we bring it together? How do we create a community, a space where we can get people who wouldn't normally maybe go to like one of these skate events, or wouldn't go to like see this band, or wouldn't normally get out to look at like some of these like artists that are like creating like these beautiful things. How do we get them in a space where they can just hang out and vibe together and just like enjoy like each other's company without
Alcohol.
all the same place? That too. Yeah. You bring your own, you can have a great time. BYOB. But no, just talking to you guys is like, I've loved getting to know like your guys' kind of whole mission, because I feel like it just completely, you know, meshes with like the whole Chill Sounds and Breakdowns kind of like idea. And it's why we want to keep doing it. It's why we want to. I'm super excited for this Saturday. It's just going to be a great time, and I'm glad that you guys get to be a part of it. And I'm glad you guys had time to stop by and like, you know, talk to us and you know, tell. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Thanks for having us, man. Yeah, dude.
No, absolutely.
We can't wait to perform, man. You know, our band Blaize Culture is we're gonna put on an amazing show.
No, like, you guys are like, so
No,
if
I'm joking,
you guys,
man.
No, you guys are. You can call it a
Don't
band.
tempt us with a good time, man.
We'll leave instruments up there. You guys can go
Oh,
grab them.
snap. Dude, man, don't get me with a few drinks and a microphone. I'll start singing on
guitars
this.
back
Yeah,
there.
There's something right there. You can go grab. We have everything in here to make a band.
dude.
But no, absolutely.
Oh, don't tempt us with a good time, man.
Chill Sounds and Breakdowns this Saturday, August 28th. Come check out the Blaize Culture boys, and their session is gonna go pretty much all day. I think you guys are hanging out, so come say hi to them. Come if you are skating, if you're looking at the skate, or you just want to hang out with some people that are gonna be riding, skating out there, then now's your chance. It's free. Absolutely no money to come hang out and just come have a blast. But again, thank you guys, man, for stopping by.
No, thanks for having us,
No
man.
problem.
Yeah, thanks for these guys as well.
Our
And,
pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Peace. Cut it, man. Just cut it.